start this meeting with the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. We have a moment of silence, please. Roll call, Andrea.
Council President Steeritz?
Here.
Councilor Schneider?
Here.
Councilor Stickley?
Here.
Councilor Chamberlain?
Yes.
Councilor Steeritz?
Here.
And Councilor Fry.
Here.
All members are present. We have a quorum.
Council has had time to review the prior meetings minutes from the last two meetings.
I would make a motion to accept the minutes as they are.
Second.
Motion to approve the prior meeting's minutes moved by Councilor Stickley and seconded by Council President Steeritz. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries.
We had no one wishing to speak with council or address council tonight, so we will move on with our committee reports, starting with our street committee.
Street committee meeting, okay. Resident had requested a crosswalk button be installed at the intersections of Shoup Avenue and Linfoot Street, and then also at Shoup and the bike trail. Mr. Richardson is checking out getting the cost of a study done, because the study had to be done before anything's done. And so really no action was taken at this time other than getting the cost of the study.
Would that have to be through the state that would do that, since it's a state route?
They'll make us do it, but it'll have to be per their guidelines and so on.
Because they have to justify it, correct, as to why they're doing it. So if we want it,
Yes.
we do their job. Okay. All right. So no action on this?
No
report
action.
at all. All righty, thank you. Let's see, we have park board.
I will do that for Rick tonight, Mayor. There was two issues with the park board. One I brought up, and the subject is for the park board members and elected officials to be allowed to rent the city, like the Rotary Park and everybody else, same as full-time employees, for a half price, one time a year, for the purposes of renting. It was voted on and approved. So, do we bring that to action now?
Well, why don't you finish through the rest of your report, and then we can refer back to that, because that was an action that took place for voting.
Okay. The other part of it, the park board members that was present was a little upset that the council had made a motion or a resolution to get a draft for the WRA, and they was not consulted on this issue. And they was quite upset about that issue. Only thing I told them, it is a draft, it is not finished yet. From Tom McWaters called, I discussed it a little bit with him. It's a draft, but it's coming to council as well as park board and everybody else in concern until it's actually a resolution and put in place. At this time, it's not legal totally yet.
Right. Okay. And were they satisfied with your
They
answers?
were satisfied with that. They would only ask that they would be definitely included before it becomes enacted.
On discussion.
Yeah, they would like to be in on the discussion.
All right.
So. And the other order of business was John Arps briefed everybody about the swimming pool and parking lot that was done, which is an excellent looking job. And that the pavilion was built and the concrete was put in.
Concrete looks good.
And that is also is an excellent looking job that our public employees
It's a
did.
lot of pour. How much concrete did they pour out there, do you know? It's a lot of loads.
30-some yards, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like that it's ADA.
Pardon me?
It's ADA acceptable now for them to utilize
Yeah.
that to the restrooms, and
Yes.
that's a good thing.
Yes. And that concluded the meeting at the park board.
All right. Did you want to approve these in sections? Since you have action on the shelter house. The WRA was just discussion, so really the only action would be on the shelter house.
Yes.
Before we, if I can jump in here just a bit. With regard to the discounted rates on the
Yes.
shelter houses, Mr. McWaters asked me to do some research on that. I did. This morning, I called the Ethics Committee to find out if this was appropriate or not. The concern we had was that elected officials are taking a benefit, perhaps improperly, because generally speaking, you folks can only increase your compensation, for example, within certain criteria prior to a filing deadline. That gives the public the opportunity to run for your positions.
Okay.
So in doing my research, it's not terribly clear. You folks are certainly, you as the council that is, you are certainly free to give this perk to your employees, and including park boards, et cetera. That is something you do to, help morale. It's one of the fringe benefits of being a city employee, et cetera, or a volunteer in the park board's case. I don't know, however, that it would be appropriate for you to extend this to yourselves. There may be a way to do that, but it would have to be it would have to be done prior to the filing deadlines, and it would be not able to take place then until after the new term starts for the council members.
Yep.
So I guess it would be my advice, if you want to go forward on that you do not include yourselves or the mayor.
That sounds logical. Then, can I make a motion on that then?
The thing is, with all of the boards, various boards and commissions, the only thing I wanted to say about that was the fact that if you're gonna move forward with that, there's a lot of boards and people are in and out and in and out.
And that's what.
I thought it was just a park board.
Park
Yeah.
board.
I thought it was just, I was understanding it's only park board.
Yeah.
Various boards and commission is how
Well, we
it
had
reads.
decided just a park board.
Yeah, because
Well, what the park board voted on from these minutes and what you guys are saying are two different things then. Because the minutes say various boards and commissions. If you're just gonna say park boards, that's your decision today to change what they brought forward from the minutes.
Well, because of the ethics, I think we ought to just not do it then, is my thought.
For,
Anybody.
I thought Thursday we discussed it and we'd come down just as.
We did for park
members.
board, yes, but the mayor, they're saying that,
for elected officials.
Right.
I would leave that
Yeah,
out.
I think you're free to give it to the park board. I mean, the park board can't give it to themselves, but certainly the city council can give them that benefit.
Yeah, it says,
My only concern would be that you not give it to yourselves.
correct, and that's what I was gonna make a motion.
Does it say anything about ethics with family or how far back that goes as well?
I did not research that issue.
Because sometimes there's family members of employees or family members or elected officials that if they sit on this board, I'm wondering if that's an ethics too,
I don't know.
because you're giving them a perk. Because that's one thing I know, but as a whole, you can, but as personal, I don't think you can or not. I
Can
think
we
so.
just table it till?
Yeah.
I think we ought to table,
And
discuss
Get
it,
get more
until
on
we
the
decide.
That's what I
ethics
think.
side.
make sure we get it right.
Yep, I agree with that.
Okay. So, no action then, will be,
No.
unless, there was action, but we probably should vote on what they brought forward, because they did vote down there to go ahead with it. So I'm thinking you guys are gonna have to vote on their motion here.
Yeah, but we can't vote on their motion or we're gonna pass it. We gotta
Well, I think.
make a motion to
Vote on
table
it.
it.
I think,
Yes,
I think,
that's-
Make a motion to table it.
I think you certainly don't want to implement it yet.
Right.
So I would,
So I'll make a motion we table it.
that's a
till-
good idea.
I would second it, yeah.
Motion to table the park board recommendation moved by Council President Steeritz and seconded by Councilor Schneider. Is there any further discussion? Council President Steeritz?
Yes.
Counselor Schneider?
Yes.
Counselor Stickley?
Yes.
Counselor Chamberlain?
Yes.
Counselor Steeritz?
Yes.
And Counselor Fry.
Yes.
6 yeas, 0 nays, motion carries.
Thank you. Okay, the last committee we have is Tree Commission.
Tree Commission met on June 12th. It was relatively short meeting. It was, the primary topic of discussion was the Indian Hill Park project. Ed Knopfsinger had donated 3 acres additional for a corridor for a second path and a wetlands in between that area. And most of our discussion was what kind of trees to plant and some of the invasive species to get rid of and things like that. So with that, that's kind of the end of the meeting. Several of us met with a Donna Foster from the U.S. Forest Service that is facilitating the grant to kind of go over what we're planning on doing with that corridor and some of the things that has been done with the project, and she seemed to be pretty impressed with what has been done and what we're planning on doing with that.
So, let's see, action,
No action.
it's all discussion.
Yeah.
Okay. Great. All right, then let's move on to our department heads, and Chief Sluter is gone today, so Chief Torbett.
All right, in front of you was the latest budget for Safety City. We ended up with 68 kids. The second, I guess it should be the third and fourth session started today. We're still roughly $1,000 short of the budget. Not sure how that's going to end up at the end. The budget sometimes is a little bit more than what we need for the program. Sometimes it's a little less, but we are still taking donations on that. And the 68 kids definitely fills the room, because we have about a max of 80 is about the max for the 4 classes. Also, our Youth Police Academy ended last Thursday. We had 8 out of the 11 were able to complete the entire thing, and they enjoyed it immensely. I think 3 of them already wanted applications for next year to do it again. So
Okay.
they had a great time and learned a lot. And other than that, we're getting ready for homecoming as well as the 3rd of July fireworks.
Yeah. Hopefully the rain will hold on.
We certainly hope so.
Yeah. Had a lot of barriers in our way for this
Yes.
one, so hopefully the rain will hold off. Any questions for Chief? Dennis?
With regards to homecoming, the Public Works guys were able to get mostly set up today. Took advantage of it not raining for that. Plus that gave the electric guys a head start on getting their work done for the festivities. The ODOT project on Shoup Avenue is progressing slowly. The subcontractor that's going to do the deep fixes on portions of the pavement were in town today, and I don't know how far they got, frankly, but I guess the story for this week is they certainly aren't going to be in the way of homecoming, other than having Shoup Avenue as tied up as it is right now. The contractor that's going to redo the tennis courts this summer was in town and power washed the entire surface in preparation for the resurfacing that's going to occur there. They, like everybody else, are sort of behind and waiting for a long enough stretch of dry weather to come in and perform the guts of the work there. We too are starting to prepare for the fireworks for the Independence Day celebration, and that's about all I have for this evening.
Any questions for Dennis?
Dennis, did they give you a best guess when they'd get on the tennis courts?
No better guess than the weatherman.
Okay. There's just some tennis people that are curious.
Yeah.
Okay. So no best
No,
guess yet?
they had hoped to have been done by now.
Okay. All right.
How long is it tied up for?
They will need the better part of a week to do everything that they have to do.
And this is one of those things that you have to have the heat to be able to utilize, to do.
It's warm enough. Hotter's better, but it's warm enough these days for
So the
it.
elements are huge.
It's gotta be dry though.
Okay. All right. Jamie?
I just got back from some training the end of last week. It's required training from the Treasurer of State of Ohio that I have to fulfill so many hours. Came back with some issues that I need to implement, really to look at our internet security and to have a disaster recovery plan. Not that we have it in place, we just don't have it in writing, so that's something we need to take care of.
What's the mitigation plan that, on the disaster?
No, like disaster recovery for my particular department.
Oh, gotcha. Okay.
So those are some things that I will start working on. And that's all I have today.
Questions for Jamie? Okay, Kevin, what do you have to bring forward?
Nothing additional.
Nothing additional. You did your homework, that was pretty impressive. Okay, any questions for Kevin at all? All right, let's move forward on our legislation. We have a lot. It fit on the first page. This is the first time in a long time I've seen that we've had no legislation for first, second, or third reading. Under new business, I have two things that I wanted to add. Of course, the homecoming is this week, and it got shifted due to Carnival bailing out in July, so this was the only week that we could put it together, which I know does not coincide with everyone else's annual plans and stuff that they've made, but the homecoming, to keep it a success, is one of those things that you have to make sure you take the time out to participate in if you can. Everybody always has things planned, and this was a last minute change, and we hate to see it hurt the program that's been here for so many years. So hopefully everybody will take the time to get out, volunteer, or throw their bubble gum. I think we have about, 18 tubs of bubble gum for the city to throw out, so that'll be a good thing. We just need to keep the rain away for our parade at 11 o'clock on Saturday morning. So that was the one thing. The second thing is I would like to thank the Wauseon beautification team. They did a beautiful job down on the tracks and the planter down there. Our Public Works pulled out all of the overgrown trees, and they came in and spent about 4 hours Saturday, a week ago Saturday, wasn't it? It was hot, humid, and yucky out, and we got it done, and it
Those
looks
look good.
gorgeous. It looks really, really good. And they bought all local this year, and they're not done. They see other things that need to be done. So I can't thank them enough for the beautification that they do for our downtown. So, and we're getting more and more people to join that group. They're seeing the progress, and progress means, that people follow progress. So that's all I have. Anything else?
For new business,
Business.
yes, Mayor. Leggett Street sidewalk project, are we close to having a start date for that, or?
Waiting on the.
Can't even find a contractor to give us a price yet.
If we get the contractor, I know we've talked with local contractors, and we're looking at going out of the area to try to find one, and they're all backed up. And so hopefully we can get to it. They're having the same problem we're having. It's just not enough days to be able to get out there and do it.
So the administration has concluded to hire that out rather than inside?
Looking into it, we still got to put the
Okay.
price
In
back.
order to try to get it done, yes.
Okay, all right.
Beautification. People could do it.
Yeah.
You guys wanna do it?
I know some people who probably could, but I don't think the state's gonna appreciate it. It would be nice.
Mayor,
But
second.
still gotta have the rain, or the dry weather.
Sorry.
Go ahead.
A parade discussion for members of council. I guess we just need to work it out, what we're doing for the parade. Somebody get a vehicle, somebody, I just don't want to have this discussion not in an open forum, because it does require more than 4 of us to
I
reach
know, I need
conclusion.
Harold to go pick up the truck.
Harold, pick up the, that way, Prez.
Well, somebody's got,
Okay, I'll go pick up the truck.
All right.
and I don't know where the lineup is.
You need to make sure you deal with Public Works so that you
Yeah, get a hold of
can get in.
John.
John.
Usually here,
How do you know where your spot is?
That's the,
it's on the parade form, and when Andrea, did you put them in? That should come back to you with the number, and you'll have a number of where council is at, and then you go find that little number, and that's where you.
That's where you start?
Mhm.
So Andrea will, you'll be able to tell me?
I've already emailed it to you, but I'll be happy to look
Oh, would you?
again. Yes.
I guess I'll look there and see.
I guess I didn't see the number.
I didn't see it.
We got the truck, we got the bubble gum, I think
Are
we're
we
all set.
behind you, Mayor, again?
I don't know, I doubt it.
never,
I'm writing
it varies all the
in a
time.
different place, I think, this year.
It varies all the time, sometimes in Superior Road, sometimes Superior.
Right.
We'll find out.
We don't have as many units this year.
Mhm.
Obviously, the bands, which I was in charge of, the freshmen have not gone through band camp yet and cannot march because they need to learn to march, and the seniors are graduated, so we have a half a band coming from Wauseon, and every band in the NWAL and college had the same issues, so it was we couldn't buy a band to come march, and it's kind of sad. So June is not the month for the Wauseon homecoming, but you do what you gotta do to keep it going. We figured we'd have Wauseon start and then get back on the bus, go back, and then they can end it at the same time.
Pulling double duty.
So,
Now, one more item, Mayor, for new business. In my professional life, as an adult probation officer, I ran into an incident that maybe we can have some intervention, legislation from city council. In my professional life, we conduct random drug testing. And here recently, we had somebody that attempted to supply synthetic urine during that drug testing process. And through that discussion, the person shared with me where they got the synthetic urine, and it happened to be a local vendor. And I went to that local vendor, and yet, sure enough, there was synthetic urine on the shelf. And I think to myself, these other municipalities, such as Bowling Green and maybe some others that are, like for instance, Bowling Green's trying to ban the plastic bags from use, from Walmart and things like that. So I'm going to refer this to a committee, Mayor, but my hope is through dialogue that maybe we can ban some of the following items from our city. Synthetic urine, urine testing devices, urine additives to pass a drug test, detox drinks for drug test, detox shampoo, the urinator synthetic urine container, single vial synthetic urine refill, synthetic urine kit, urine lock, spike, quick clear 20-ounce detox drink for drug test, rescue cleanse 32-ounce detox drink for drug test, rescue cleanse 17-ounce one-shot concentrate detox drink for drug test, Dr. Green's Cool Rinse for saliva drug testing, Oral Clear hair follicle shampoo for drug test, and Dr. Green's Wash Away detox shampoo. My hope is maybe we can have dialogue and enact legislation that will keep these items from being sold within our municipality, because I can't think of one legitimate purpose for anybody to have these other than to pass a drug screen that they would ultimately fail. I've spoken with this with my elected official, Judge Robinson, the judge of the Common Pleas Court, and I have his support in this endeavor as well. It's something that, from a drug court perspective, and he administers the drug court, this doesn't help the process at all when it comes to accountability. So I would refer this to Safety and Code. Scott, Rick, Steve, I apologize, but I will be there along the way to maybe help through the process as well of presenting maybe legislation in the future.
possibly your law enforcement and drug law enforcement and downstairs that are very active in this. The second thing is Teresa Gavarone has legislation out right now on the urine, what did you call it? Synthetic urine that is being sold as a law to go in effect, that it cannot be sold. And that just came out last week, and I think it passed or is in the process
I
of.
believe it's in committee.
Yeah, so, and it sounds very, very good that that would be, actually go statewide. So she's actually one of that has been pushing for this, and she's out of Bowling Green, so that's why your Bowling Green information is so bold, because that's where she's beginning to push it. And as far as the other items, I mean, I'm not into this, I'm not savvy to this. I am savvy to what you just spoke about with the synthetic urine, and I agree. I don't know why we would even have it here. But as far as all the rest, I think this is something more that we need to be educated with before we make decisions on why it's here and why it's not here. But I agree, they're gonna use it. I know that, you know, it's just not a good thing, but we'll see how it goes,
Yeah.
moves forward. But I think this is, if you guys wanna discuss it, that's great, have a committee, but definitely have our drug enforcement downstairs task force and maybe county involved, and find out what we need to know about this stuff before we make a decision as to why, and make sure the liabilities are good before we take it off.
Very much. In the adult probation world, we're on the front line of drug testing, so we would be a great resource to tap into as well. So I'll look forward to that committee meeting being scheduled, so thank you. Thanks, Mayor.
You're welcome. I think it'd be great drug enforcement personnel up here, because they just went through that.
I didn't know either.
Yeah, synthetic
Kalahari,
urine.
didn't they?
And you can buy it locally.
Oh, I've heard
Discuss
of
that.
that. I used to do drug tests though before I worked here.
All righty. Anything else? All right. Can we have a motion to pay these bills?
Second it.
Motion to approve and pay the bills is presented, moved by Counselor Schneider and seconded by Counselor Stickley. Is there any discussion? Counselor Schneider?
Yes.
Counselor Stickley?
Yes.
Counselor Chamberlain?
Yes.
Counselor Steeritz?
Yes.
Counselor Fry?
Yes.
And Counsel President Steeritz.
Yes.
6 yeas, 0 nays, motion carries.
We have a motion for adjournment, please.
So moved.
Second.
Motion to adjourn, moved by Counselor Fry and seconded by Counselor Steeritz. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries.